Hello and welcome to today's video. Today I'm sharing my current favorite makeup product. The ones I've used most this winter and the ones I'm currently loving the most. These are not all new products. In fact, I think most are a little bit older, but they are my favorites and some of them are very new to me, so I'd like to share them. If you're new to my channel, which you probably are because I've only just begun, please consider subscribing to my channel because I'd love to grow and share all my love of makeup and also art with you, and let's get into the video. I want to start with some primers, and I was a little bit surprised because I have three types of primers which are currently my favorite. One really surprised me. So I was looking for a new eyeshadow base because I only own the Anastasia one and it's a little bit dry and I just wanted to try something else, and also it was running a little bit low. So I thought let's figure out another one to try. So I had a lot of high-end options, but then I was in the drugstore and I saw this one from Essence. Their eyeshadow base, which was only €2.69 I think. So I thought, let's give it a try. How bad can it be? It can always be just as good as a concealer, but it's better than a concealer. It really prepares your eyelid because it blanks out the blueness and the veins, but it has this almost gel-like consistency that really grips onto the eyeshadows and makes them very pigmented without being very oily, so I think it's a perfect eyeshadow base. Next I have another eye primer, but this is an mascara primer. This is one from Smashbox and I really had this for quite a lot of time, but I only started using it recently, and I mean I'm using it right now underneath my mascara, and I've used a pretty bad mascara which is almost out, but I still think I got some pretty nice lashes today, and it's all thanks to this white base. The geniusness of this thing is that it has 3 short sides. I don't know if you can see that. And then 1 long side. And especially this long side really combs up the lashes and really packs on a lot of pigment. So you really get a nice white coat of this, and then you let it dry for a little bit and then voila! Finally, I also have an actual face primer. This is the High Glass Primer from NYX. I bought this because I am doing a full face of NYX in just a little bit and I wanted to try some of their stuff. So I thought this could be a dupe for the Charlotte Tilbury Hollywood Flawless Filter. Now, I've never tried the Hollywood Flawless Filter, but I really want to, so I can compare it to this one. I think this one is a little bit greasy. That's the one downside, but in the winter, and especially with my skin, which is usually a little bit dry, I think this works out perfectly and it gives a very nice sheen. And I like to combine this with my YSL All Hours or with my Benefit Happy Glow foundation, which are a little bit lighter in texture, but they are a little bit more matte. So then the glow really comes through in a nice way. And this is also pretty affordable. I'm not sure how much, maybe 10 euros? But anyway, pretty affordable product, so highly recommend. Now we're moving into a foundation, and I think I have only one because this one really took me by surprise. And it's this stick foundation from Guerlain. It's the Terracotta foundation. I have the shade Fair, Très Clair, which works pretty well for me. I think it's maybe a little bit too yellow, but it's okay. The thing is, they only have 6 shades. So first in the store I tried the Clair foundation and I thought that would be okay, but it's really quite dark because the jump from Très Clair to Clair is pretty big. So now I have this one and it works out okay. It does have a pretty heavy smell, but I like the smell, I like the scent, so, and I'm also not very sensitive to scent, so, but that could be a big downside. It is a little bit pricey, of course, but for Guerlain it's okay, I think. And the thing with this is, it's so mess-free. I really hate putting the foundation on my hand and then going in with the brush and then having this mark here, which never really comes off with any soap. So I really hate that. So when I discovered this one and I thought, oh, this is so mess-free. So I really like that, and it really blends out with a brush very nicely. You have to apply pretty generously, I believe. to get an even coat, but then I really have a lot of breakouts at the moment, so please ignore that. You can see it's a pretty nice finish. I'm not wearing the NYX primer at the moment, so the glow that you see, I'm also not wearing any highlighter. The glow that you see really comes from the foundation. For primer today, I'm by the way, wearing the Tony Moly Egg, but I've only used this a couple of times, so it's not a current favorite yet, but it might be very soon. I'm thinking of doing these favorites a little bit more often, by the way. I just wanted to do a sort of favorite recap, so what I've been loving so far, and then maybe I'll do one once a month from now on. I kind of like this. Okay, let's continue. For face powder, I have a bit of an older product, but one that I still really love, and it's the Gucci powder. I have mine in the shade 00, which is a little bit pinky. You see it has a little bit of heartburn, but that's because my concealer is always a little bit wet, so sometimes a little bit sticks to the pan. But it comes off with a brush quite easily, so I'm not worried by it. It has this nice little sponge underneath, and I do use the sponge because it's nice. This product also has a bit of a scent, but it is a scent I really like. And this powder is just the perfect color for me. It's not too brightening, but it doesn't yellow or darken my foundations and concealers, which almost all powders do, except for the ones that are especially white. So I kind of like that. It's a nice soft powder. And you see it didn't really take away the shine that the foundation gave me. But it did tone down the stickiness. So I'm in love with this. Other complexion products. I have no bronzers, but I have 2 highlighter palettes and 2 blushes. One of my blushes is this new favorite from Chanel. I never owned a Chanel blush before, and I really wanted to own one, so I went to a couple of stores and I looked at all of the swatches. This was when we were still able to go into store. And I picked out Rose Initial, which is this beautiful pink. I can show you a swatch maybe. It doesn't really swatch that well. But on the cheeks, this is less of a pink and a little bit more of a peach. But still, it's nice and light, and I really like Chanel blushes now. Then I have one affordable blush, which is a blush palette, which I really happen to fall in love with. Which is the Vanilla Strawberry Truffle palette by BH Cosmetics. BH is really killing it with their eyeshadow game right now, and I still have to buy something from their eyeshadow palettes. But half a year ago, I think, I ordered this one on a whim because I thought the packaging was very cute, and I really didn't know BH at the time, but I was scrolling through Beauty Bay and I thought I'd give this a try. It was really cheap and it looks really cute. Also scented, but also very lovely scent. I especially love this one, which I thought I would like the least. But it has a little bit of shimmer in it, and it's a little bit of an orangey color. It's not what I'm wearing right now, but it is very similar to this. Which means you can use it as a blush and highlighter 2 in 1. Which is something I always like to do when I'm going a little bit lighter with my makeup for the day. Then you have this slightly shimmery baby pink. This more peachy pink, and then this more fuchsia leaning pink, and I love all 3 of these. They're really nice and pigmented, but they're not too heavy and they do blend out very nicely. So I keep it in a little sleeve, and maybe I have to pick up more of these in the future because they have a lot of interesting color schemes. Moving into highlighters. I have 2 palettes here which are a little bit older but are my current loves. It's the Dior Backstage palette in Rose Gold and the Meteorites palette from Guerlain. And they're both pretty much the same idea. They have a gold, a pink and a peach. Except the Dior also has a darker pink. But I like them for the same reason. I really like having these options. And I think this one is a little bit more sparkly and a little bit less metallic. And this one is very shiny and metallic. So I like them for different reasons, but they both work out perfectly. And I like combining shades when I use this. So I'll use this one as a blush topper, and I'll use the more golden one on my nose, and then I'll use the rosy one on my forehead. I don't know, I like to mix and match these. I don't do that with the Guerlain one for some reason. I have to say, from the two, I like the Guerlain one just a little bit less. Just because it has this one shade, which is a little bit too dark for me. And I'm not really sure what I have to do with that one. Maybe use it as a blush topper or as an eyeshadow. I really love the other two, so that's why I made it into my favorites. But see, it's just a little bit too dark for me, and I think that's a shame. But of course, they only made one palette, so they kind of had to. I have two categories left. I have eyeshadow palettes and lipsticks. Well, for eyeshadow palettes, I've really fallen in love with Charlotte Tilbury and Too Faced lately. Maybe you've seen it from my videos, if you have seen more of my videos lately. But I have 3 palettes from Charlotte Tilbury here, from the 4 that I own, which are my current favorites. One of them I'm wearing right now, which is the Super Blue, which is this one. This one came out in March, I believe, and was part of the color-coded eyeshadow quartet, which was made to accompany certain eye colors. Well, I like the blue one, so I got the blue one, even though I have green eyes. And I really like this one. This dark one is very dark, but it is very pigmented. So you can really make this nice wing with it, or even do a full smoky eye. And then this pop shade is really nice. And it doesn't get hard pan. I was so surprised because all my other pop shades get hard pan when I do this, but this one doesn't. And you can really use your finger to pack on that blue pigment. And of course you have these 2 beigey shades which accompany the palette very well. Then I have 2 which come in a set for me, which is the Pillow Talk and the Pillow Talk palette of pops. I just did a whole video about these, but I love using them together. Because the Pillow Talk palette of pops, which is this one, has one darker shade, which is darker than the darkest shade in the Pillow Talk palette. And I think that was lacking in the Pillow Talk palette. So I think these accompany each other very well, and you can make some really nice soft looks with this. And I think Mel Thompson said that this shade of pink, which is in the Pillow Talk palette, it's really hard to find in other eyeshadow palettes. And I have to agree, it's a very special kind of pinky beige, I think you should call it. But I really like these 2, and especially together. Then from Too Faced I tried a lot over the last couple of months. I tried their large holiday palettes, a couple of smaller holiday palettes, some scented palettes I think. And this is my favorite. Not just because of the packaging, but the packaging is also very cute. But because of this color story and because of the quality. I really love this shade here, which is actually a little bit reminiscent of the Tom Ford Pretty Baby shade. So if you're thinking that one is too expensive and this one is still available, I mean, go for it. This one is very pretty. You can really deepen it up with this one, and then these bronzy shades, they lean a little bit more pink, so it's really a very nice ballerina-like palette, and I really like that. Usually I wear mascara, but sometimes I like to wear lashes, but sometimes they're a little bit too dramatic. So I found the perfect in-between. I found these Lash Princess lashes by Essence. And they're really natural and really comfortable, and they really stay on very well. And they're not too big. I didn't even have to cut them, but they were perfect for my eyes. And I really like these. These were like €2 or something, and they're one of my favorite lashes at the moment. Then finally we have lip products, starting with the one I'm wearing right now, which is also a Charlotte Tilbury one. Now, about 2 months ago I did a favorites tutorial using all of my favorite makeup products, and I had a Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in there, but this one has taken its throne. This is the shade Live It Up, which is in the Kissing formula, which is this nice pinky nude. It's nice and light, and I really like combining it with really any kind of eyeshadow, but especially with bluish and purplish ones. I really think this always combines very nicely. This also smells very nice and smells a bit like vanilla. So this one has dethroned my previous one, which was, what was it called? Miranda May, which I still really love, but this is in the Matte Revolution formula and I like the Kissing formula just a little bit better. And also this shade Live It Up is really perfection. And then I also have this one from Chanel. This is from the holiday collection and I just had to show this. I don't know if it's but this packaging is so pretty. And then this shade is so interesting. It's like a terracotta nude with a little bit of sparkle in it. Really, I mostly wear these two. So for my beigey, browny, reddish looks, I go for this one. And for my purple, bluish looks, I go for the Charlotte Tilbury one. Or I take similar shades, or I take a red. But that's really all I wear at this time, at the moment. Just to be complete, this one is called Or Beige, which is a Rouge Allure lipstick and it's shade 107. I highly recommend these. They also last very long. Both of them do actually. They're not marketed as long-lasting lipsticks, but they really last even through meals. So highly recommend these. That was it for my favorites this time around. Let me know if you'd like to see more of these or leave a like or a comment. That would really help me out. I'm trying to grow my teeny tiny family here on YouTube and I really love making videos. So please consider subscribing and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!